Okay, guys, we're going to work a little more on this. Hopefully, in a bit, weather permitting, we'll be able to do a artistic impressions video with our friend Michael Woods. Right now, I'm going to work on the eyes for my dinosaur here. And let's see how these cracks showed up. Still got a few little cracks and crevices, but it's not as... See, you still got a few little cracks and crevices. I'm not real thrilled with that. We're going to have to maybe fill it back in with more glue. I'm going to try maybe a little hot glue. Just kind of clean my nozzle off on it. Then I can just kind of brush over it as we go. But I'm going to see if maybe the hot glue will work. Did not really want to have to do it that way, but we'll see what we can do. At least on some of these. Now some of these, like these little ones up here on top, this one right here is the one that really worries me. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and work on T-Rex's eye. Now I've got a new paint color, sequin black here. And we're going to be using it to paint the eye, because I need a little bit of a gleam in the eye. Get my paint rag over here. And I've got some spiced berry that I'm going to dry brush over the maw. Over the mouth, the business end. I'll go ahead and get my tripe set up here where I can work around it, so that I can hold this up where you can see what I'm doing. Alright. Barely. I'm just trying to... I don't really want to go getting a whole bunch of extra paint on it, but that'll do the job, I think. That definitely brings him to life. I'll show you when we do it. I'll take some photos at the end of the video here, and we'll show you. Now, our next step is I've got to get some... I've got this spiced berry, and I'm going to be using it for some of this blood that's going to be around the maw, because I want some blood that's going to be in various stages. Maybe some of it dried, some of it not. I basically want him to look as gruesome and as ghoulish as humanly possible. I'll probably put a little bit of the gore on his claws and stuff, and I'm going to get back to finishing his claws. I'm just kind of... Alright, we got a little bit of paint on the brush. I'm going to dry brush it because I don't want a whole bunch of extra paint on it. Just kind of want it to look like he's a bit of a sloppy eater. Let's see. And I'll probably just dry brush a little tiny touch of red, barn red or bright red over the top of it. Or a little bit more of that hot rod red. Yeah, a little bit more of this paint. I gotta dry brush off this extra. I may end up having to go with a little bit of bright red. Trying to avoid knocking his teeth loose. These are very delicate business there. Definitely looks meaner and nastier. Now, let's go ahead and see if I can find... I've got some brighter red, I thought here. Got some hot rod red. I'm going to try to dry brush it just a little bit more over the mouth. Kind of make him look a little bit more. So I want it to look like maybe he's got blood in different stages of drying. Because, like I said, I'm getting the idea he's kind of a messy eater. He's a nasty customer. And I may end up bringing in some bright red anyway, because I'm going to be using a little bit around the maw. Around his mouth. Now, see if this glue gun's ready. I'm going to see if I can maybe get some glue in there where I can patch up that arm. Clearing off some of this extra glue. So I don't want to go too crazy here. Now, I got a popsicle stick here that I'm going to kind of work this in with, so that it's not sticking all out. There we go. And we'll let that do its bit. Now, I had another big crack and I filled it in with some glue, and I may end up doing that here where he looks like he's maybe got a few little cuts and scrapes on his head. Now, that does not look too bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this regular stick out, and I'm going to put it over here and get in over here. I got to get these bright colored things because I'm going to put a little touch of red, if I can find any red stuff. Trying to see if I've got any red crap, any of these red glue sticks. I may be out of them, and I may end up having to not do that. Thought I had some red ones, but apparently I do not. Oh, there goes my metal ones all over the floor. That was not fun. Alright, we're just going to have to dry brush a little red around there. Tell you what, I'm going to go get some red, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright. Got some candy apple red. Now, I'm not wanting to go too crazy with it, because it is kind of a little bit too bright a red, but I'm going to use some of it. But I need this brush to be very, very, very dry. Just a faint hint of it. Just enough to kind of get the attention of the eye. That was way too much. But maybe a little bit. Oh yeah. Now that looks gruesome. Now, let's go ahead and paint the osteoderms on his sides, and then I'll tinker with his claws. Now for the osteoderms, I need another color. Don't really want to go with black. I could go with maybe sequin black along there, which would look kind of cool. Let's try that. I don't know, sequin black, it's going to be too dark. I need something back there that'll pop a little bit. Gray, no. Spiced berry, no. Melted. Maybe the brown. Let's go with a little melted chocolate on this. And then hopefully when we get back to this video, we'll be able to do the mounting of this thing on its base. Oh, that's a little too dark. Need something a little bit lighter. And that's our vintage white. Yellow. Let's try some King's yellow. Which I'm probably going to use as kind of a dry brush effect over the claws when I'm done anyway. Because unlike the teeth, they will be exposed to the air a little more often. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and just kind of paint in these osteoderms. See. I'll have to maybe do a little bit of kind of like that. Kind of a sickly yellow. I may go with like a slightly palish color for the... Got a couple of little scrapes and scratches along the top of the head. I may put some scar tissue up there. There we go. Now, let's go up here. Since I coated these are going to have to dry a little while. But I'd say that's coming along nicely. Now, just going to get the dry brush. I'm going to put a little bit of white under the belly. Just dry brush in a little white. Or off-white, actually. I'm going to go with this vintage white and go underneath. And just dry brush it. I just need a wide brush, wide dispersion. Let's get rid of this red that's on it. And clean it off. There we go. That's good. Now I'm just going to dry brush. I just need a very, very, very small amount of this white, of this vintage white. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up underneath and just kind of do that up underneath to kind of simulate the counter shading that would probably occur on an animal like this. Up underneath the chin, like so. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and get the pinpoint brush back out, and we're going to go ahead and paint his claws up since I've got the vintage white already out. So what we're going to do is come over here. See, you got to catch it from all angles. It's not like the teeth. It's the inside of the teeth, or the back side, or between the teeth. You're not going to notice that as much due to shading and difficulty in seeing. There we go. Now, going to check on this paint here, see if it's dry on the side, little bumps on the side. I'll go ahead and wash off my pinpoint brush and put it up here and close this up, and we're going to get a little bit of the white paint and dry brush, just a very, very, very small amount, just barely kiss the whole surface of this thing with this paint. Like I said, I don't want to get, not coating it, just basically just putting a, what they call a glaze over the top of it with this white. Again, a trick that, and a method that I learned many years ago from my cousin, who honestly has in many ways made me the artist that I am now. So, God bless her. Let me get this dry brush off because I don't want to have a whole bunch on it. But now, see, you just kind of want to hit it. You don't want to hit it hard. Just enough to kind of bring out any details that you've already missed. Barely whisk it. See, we've got a hair sticking out over here, probably from a bristle on the paintbrush. So we're going to see if I can get in underneath that and plop it off here. There we go. Now we're going to hit along here and just barely kiss this thing. And you don't refill for paint on this for any reason. See. There we go. We are almost done with the sculpture part of this, and then I got to build a base for it. And I may go back over and splatter a little more red paint around that jaw, but I don't know. That looks pretty doggone good, this juncture. So, let's see what we got here, guys. See, he's going to be up on a base like this. So what do you think? Does that look pretty good? Alright guys, well, we're going to let this one go for right now, and we will be back with you when we get ready to do the base. Don't forget to follow us on Pinterest, Patreon, and Facebook, and I will see you guys on the flip side and the next video when we finish this up. Bye-bye.